At any moment now, Barrow County officials giving an update on that school shooting in Winder, Georgia. Right now, 4 dead, 9 injured. I want to go to Jonathan Siri in Atlanta with some new details. Jonathan.
17 boys have died after a fire swept through their primary school dormitory in central Kenya.
Some breaking news there is a fire incident at the Isiolo Girls High School in Isiolo County. We will bring you an update as soon as we receive more details.
But is there any way around monetizing these debt levels? Is there any way inflation is not here to stay?
I will say this, we could have an event. I don't know whether, hopefully it's not a war of major powers that bring us together and you get sacrificial behavior like we got after the Depression and the World War II. We could have a financial crisis due to everything I've been talking about.
If Kamala Harris really does tank in this debate, and I think there's a decent chance that happens, I think there are strange things that could happen between now and November, because the Democrats, they have been playing this in some ways one step ahead.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go, but clearly we're not going back to the same economy. This will be a different economy. And one of the things we hear from companies is that they've spent a lot of time since the pandemic arrived looking at ways to have more effective technology and perhaps fewer people. So you're going to see some of that in these public-facing jobs. So there will be millions of people who have a hard time finding their way back into the workforce and recovering the lives that they had just a year ago. And, you know, I think it would be appropriate for us to continue to support those people.
Tonight. Yeah, one more job. You all, thank you for all the love, but it is now my honor to introduce somebody who knows a whole lot about hope. Someone who has spent his life strengthening our democracy, and let me tell you, as someone who lives with him, he wakes up every day, and thinks about what's best for this country. Please welcome America's 44th president and the love of my life, Barack Obama.
Introducing her husband, former President Barack Obama, and the embrace on stage. The former First Lady saying, don't wait for an official call from any campaign, and said, consider this my official ask. Michelle Obama is asking you to do something, in her words, to play a role in this democracy. Many probably asking, how will the former president beat the former First Lady and her performance? Let's listen.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. All right. That's enough. Thank you, thank you. Chicago! It's good to be home. It is good to be home, and I don't know about you, but I'm feeling fired up. I am feeling ready to go. On health care, we should all be proud of the enormous progress that we've made through the Affordable Care Act, providing millions of people access to affordable coverage, protecting millions more from unscrupulous insurance practices. I noticed, by the way, that since it's become popular, they don't call it Obamacare no more. But Kamala knows we can't stop there, which is why she'll keep working to limit out-of-pocket costs. Kamala knows that if we want to help people get ahead, we need to put a college degree within reach of more Americans. But she also knows college shouldn't be the only ticket to the middle class. We need to follow the lead of governors like Tim Walz, who said, if you've got the skills and the drive, you shouldn't need a degree to work for state government. And in this new economy,
we transition now to the subject of telemedicine, and a number of counties are making strides in the provision of healthcare services by embracing the use of technology in service delivery.
That's right. As our very own Emily Chepet reports, the first proxy-powered operating theatre at Makueni Mother and Child Hospital demonstrates the transformative power of digital technology in addressing inequitable access to surgical care and resource utilization. Take a listen.
About a month ago, this 51-year-old patient who is lying at the Makueni Teaching and Referral Hospital Theatre developed subdural hematoma that resulted from a fall. After several visits to hospital, the patient was advised to undergo surgery to remove the accumulation of blood in his head.
Instead of I traveling to Boni to try and conduct mentorship there, they can just schedule a session and then they invite me, then I log in and I'll be able to view what they are doing from the county referral hospital and then give comments, feedback and support them in whatever they are doing.
You can actually teach a very large class, or it can even be broadcasted over the internet, even internationally. So it's a really great technology. It brings the class into the theatre. You don't need people in theatre for them to learn.
Makueni County, which is the first county to embrace the technology, has connected 5 of its sub-county through digital infrastructure.
Our county being so big and offering specialist services, the pressure on those specialists becomes very high for them to just travel. But with this technology, we are able to train students, and we are able to use our people here.
You can actually be part of a case, even if you are far away. Like let's say you're in Nairobi and there's a doctor who is here and is doing an operation and you're not able to arrive, but he needs you to give input or for you to show him maybe something that he needs to look at. You can actually guide.
At the Council of Governors offices in Nairobi, Makueni Governor Mutula Kilonzo Jr. was joined by a team from the counties of Murang'a, Mombasa and Nakuru, who are in the process of introducing the telesurgery in their respective counties.
Fistula surgeons are 10 in Kenya, 10. An old woman with gray hair has been having fistula for 25 years. So unless we can leverage on this technology, I can tell you there are women who can go to a meeting, who can go to a chama, as you call them, because of what they're suffering. So,
all right, joining us live in the studios to talk about more about telemedicine, we have the Murang'a County Governor, Irungu Kang'ata, is in the house. Right next to him is Dr. Joseph Murad. He's the CEO of Bayan 8.
And sitting next to him is Steve Smith. He's the Chief Operating Officer, Health X Africa. And next to him is the CEO, Roy Borg. Good to have the four of you in the studio this evening.
Governor, real quick, you saw the package there.
Yes.
Telemedicine. There are a lot of people out there who have no clue what that is. Explain to us.
Okay, telemedicine is the delivery of healthcare through digital means. So, for instance, a doctor is here, but the patient may be, let's say, in Turkana or Murang'a. So you are communicating through some digital device, whether, let's say, a laptop, a phone, and you are giving Medicare through that device. Basically, it means that. But of course, there are several things that you need to have in place. That includes the hardware, that is computers, laptops. Number two, the software. Number three, you need staff who are trained in that area. And most importantly, also internet and the networking. So once you have that infrastructure, then you can render telemedicine.
So is that where we have Bayan 8 and Health X Africa coming in? Dr. Murad?
Yeah, thank you. And by the way, you can call me Joseph. That's more than enough. That's really where the telemedicine services come in to now support and provide the services during the Murang'a pilot, which we've gotten the opportunity, of course, through the governor and the county, and enabling these remote consultations with patients.
So the pilot started on the 2nd of September, Governor?
Almost a week ago.
Yes, indeed. And the reason we did that, number one, we are targeting patients with chronic, non-communicable diseases like hypertension, arthritis, diabetes. These are patients with certain conditions which require routine checkup by doctors. So you find patient travels very far away to seek those services to a doctor. Let's say in Murang'a, villages near the forest, they have to go all the way to Murang'a town for Murang'a level 5 to see a specialist. On average, a patient uses about 1,000 Kenya shillings, plus now the consultation fee, the money for paying for the medicine. So what telemedicine does is to remove or reduce the travel cost. You don't have to go to Murang'a town to seek those services. You go to your nearest clinic, you talk to the doctor remotely, and you save your money. Yeah. Secondly, when you go to Murang'a, you find a very huge queue, people wanting to see the expert. Now, this would be more scheduled, more planned. And again, therefore, once as a patient you go, you see your doctor, you go back to your normal work. And that way also, it makes the care to the patient a little bit better.
Steve Smith, real quick, the governor was talking about network availability. Do we have that capacity? Do we have the 4G or the 5G in counties like Murang'a, in counties like Makueni, as you saw in that package?
Yeah, and I think that people are thinking ahead, they're thinking of the future. As we just heard, you know, telemedicine is going to be part of healthcare to come. So, for example, in the county, we have dual power services at each of the facilities. We have the solar power, we have generators where we can't put the solar power. For the internet connectivity, we're using two different providers. We're using satellite links, we're using the normal internet type links. So we always have that redundancy, because for telemedicine you need to have these things in place. There's nothing worse than sitting, you know, having a consultation with your doctor and the power goes off or the internet fails. So this is rapidly growing now in all the counties, especially within Murang'a, and they've made you know, the efforts to ensure that this service can be provided.
Like he talks about here, but we can't see it. And so what's happening is that it keeps crashing, but we can't see it. And that's why all these years is gold, silver, I add Bitcoin to it. I'm a big silver bull, as you know. I own silver mines. I started You know, we have a mine in Utah, the biggest, richest gold mine in America today. So I'm a hardcore believer of gold and silver, real money, not fake money.
Kamala, crash. We're going to have a crash like 1929 if she gets in. It will not be pretty. Thank you.